name was Topaz. Men would say things like, "That's a beautiful name, very exotic. Is that a name from your country?" Men would come in and ask the manager, did she have any black girls, and I would be wheeled over like a prize cow. At the time it seemed normal, but with hindsight.
We're encouraged to act as little girls, lost, demure, submissive and dumb, which is what makes men part with money quickest.
They'd say, "I wouldn't normally go to places like this," and they'd blatantly make things up about themselves, try to impress you. So they were doctors, bankers, plastic surgeons, airline pilots. They'd ask to meet you outside the club. 9 times out of 10 they'd ask for your phone number or to meet you later. Almost all of them would try something, always wanting more. They wanted to believe you'd chosen them.
You start to see men as nothing more than their wallets, idiots to be fleeced for as much as you can. You start to despise them for believing it when you flutter your eyelashes and tell them they're the most interesting customer you've ever talked to.
When I first started, I used to tell clients about my Russian degree, and they'd be visually intimidated and clam up. It was like pouring cold water over their privates. I learned from that mistake. They wanted a bimbo who'd be subordinate to them. I started to say I worked in Tesco. There's a rule regarding distance. It's supposed to be 3 feet, which is quite a lot. That's broken instantly. You have a code of conduct, but it's not adhered to. It's just to placate the local authorities. We weren't even encouraged to read it.
There's not supposed to be any touching. There's also not supposed to be spreading of legs and exposure of genitals, but this happened on a regular basis. Drugs and prostitution are prevalent throughout the industry.
No one ever admits it, because then you get called a slag. But you gradually learn, from men, from friends you make, from things you see or hear, that other dancers are breaking the rules. And you realise that they're the ones making the money. And you need money, so you start to do them too.
They would have sex and perform sex acts. They would accept dancers for drugs, kiss each other and customers, all for the same price as I was charging for a no-contact, topless lap dance.
I don't know why it's called lap dancing. There's minimal dancing involved. It should be called lap rubbing. Then more people might understand what it actually is.
For every Jordan, there are millions of girls who will never become famous, who will either go into prostitution as they get older, or give up the industry and do something else. They'll be emotionally and even physically damaged.
It's not a good job. If you feel desperate and hopeless before, then those feelings will only get worse once you start. Drunk every night, on drugs every night, skint, tired, and you can't work out how to escape, because what will you say when you go for a new job? You can't tell a prospective employer that you've been a lap dancer.
No one is the same after working in the industry. You get used to being treated as a second-class citizen. You have to normalize what's going on, become hard to survive.
I don't think anyone feels empowered by being a lap dancer. I think a lot of girls did it because they hated men. They were saying, "I'm going to get as much out of them as I can."
It's presented as empowering for women, but it's not. Any power you have disappears the moment you start to take your clothes off for a customer.
Society looks down on you. People forget that these women are somebody's daughters, sisters, mothers, wives. They are human.
It was dehumanizing, soul-destroying and filled with desperation. Desperate girls trying to make £100 a night however they could and thinking that was good money. Desperate girls selling their souls for a part in this glamorous industry. Desperate girls.
As for other women, the wives and girlfriends of the customers, most of them don't even know what lap dancing is. They don't object because they don't want to be perceived as unliberal or prudish. But if they knew what really goes on, they might not feel so liberal about it.
Why did I leave? Self-disgust, loathing of myself and the male sex in general,
Men need to stop thinking that it's okay to pay for sexual entertainment. Paying for it doesn't just hurt the woman who provides that service. It hurts all women. It hurts all of us.
What we do in lap dancing clubs does not empower us. Although some will tell you that it does, because we have to say that to save face. If we admitted how bad the situation really is, with majority hooked on drink and drugs, with sexual activity going on, we wouldn't be able to live with ourselves. I've been told many times that feminism is a dirty word, but feminism is about women being treated as equal to men. And if that's wrong, then what they mean is that it's perfectly okay for women to be treated as second-class citizens.